Now, what if instead of avoiding the root of your problems with money, you were excited to look at your bank accounts and you felt confident in taking action to gain control of your finances instead of procrastinating? Welcome to the Artful Dollar podcast. My name is Ryan Roy. I am an artist, a financial coach, a spiritual seeker, and a student of life. And if you work as an artist or creative professional earning inconsistent income and you struggle to save money, even though you've been working your ass off for years, you either have little to show for it, or what you do have, you aren't sure if it's enough or what to do with it, then this episode is talking about you and the hundreds of tattoo artists and hairstylists and other creative professionals like yourself who have worked with us at the Artful Dollar and have taken control of their finances and their lives. And I want to share some of their experiences and steps that you can take on your own to transform your relationship with money right now. First of all, I have worked as an artist earning an irregular income since I was 14 years old. I've been a carpenter, a metalworker, a painter, and since 2009, I have been a tattoo artist. And like so many artists I've known, I hated talking about money, which makes the fact that I have a podcast about money kind of hilarious. But the truth is that most of my life, I just thought that I'm bad with money and that's just who I am. And I found the whole thing to be stressful and overwhelming and confusing. And honestly, I believed that money was just the root of all evil. But in my 20s, I started to take some personal and professional development courses and workshops, and I learned that I could transform my relationship with money. I started offering one-on-one financial coaching back in 2020 because I felt that the financial service industry was not solving the two biggest problems that creative professionals face when it comes to money. And the first one is, how do we save and grow our money consistently over decades on an inconsistent income so that we can grow our business and take an actual vacation once or twice a year, buy a home, and be able to retire comfortably? This is a problem that millions of people deal with, even if they don't have a regular income. And I found that the books and the budgeting tools and the apps out there weren't really working for me as a freelance artist. And the second problem is, how do we build a confident and creative relationship with money that leaves us feeling as free around money as we feel around our artistic talents and professional skills? If money is such a big, important part of our lives, and we are likely to deal with money for the rest of our lives, then I think building a healthy emotional and spiritual relationship with money is probably one of the most important things that we can do to make our lives easier, happier, and more fulfilling. It didn't seem like my tax person or financial advisor was going to be able to help me with either of those problems. These are the problems that I wanted to solve, not just for myself, but for the world. At the Artful Dollar, we believe that money is like any creative practice or skill in that it can be taught, learned, developed, and even mastered. And when we master our practical, emotional, and spiritual relationship with money, it impacts and improves every area of our lives. Whether you're earning $50,000 a year or $500,000, it seems that many creative professionals struggle to take control of their financial situation regardless of their income level. Now, this could be due to poor money management habits, or they need better systems to support them. But many of the people that we've worked with aren't completely sure what it is that they need. What they are sure of is that they feel stressed, they feel overwhelmed and confused, and they know that they could be doing things in a better way, but they just aren't sure how or what to do.
Before I took this course, money, just friction, fighting constantly. When you start having kids and you start having a wife, you buy a house and all this stuff, it's like the money is still there. It's still coming in, but all of a sudden it turns into this scary thing. And it's something that I just thought about constantly in a negative way. There's so much friction as far as the uncertainty of our business. You know what I mean? We don't get regular paychecks and shit like that. We have holiday seasons. We have injuries and stuff like that. Nobody pays us, you know? So it was always this scary fucking thing, like money. It was just like an umbrella that I carried around. It was just like fuck, it was a black umbrella.
Been tattooing for 15 years or so, making enough to pay the bills, not saving anything. And I wasn't really planning on taxes. I was just kind of winging it. After about 12, 13 years of that, you start wondering, like, well, when's the tax man going to come knocking? Well, what about my kids? Like, how am I going to provide for them when my hands don't work or when my back won't straighten out?
Before I met Ryan, I was already on a really good financial path. I had systems in place that I had kind of tinkered with and developed over time. And what Ryan's course did was actually help me dial those in even more streamlined, fine tune some of the details to make them more automated, and also give me just more motivation, more inspiration, and just a background knowledge about taking even the next step towards building more wealth and more success for myself.
For most of my career, I was so focused on my art and my passion that I sort of forgot about the money stuff. And I just kept procrastinating and putting it off. And it wasn't until I started to develop my own way of managing money to separate and clarify and automate the flow of money in my life that I started to feel like I was in control of my financial situation. This was hard to do on an inconsistent income, and it took me about 6 years of trial and error to perfect what I now call my waterfall money system. I found that the more money I had managed by my system, the less chance I had to fuck it up. That's really all it was all about. That's how it works. So I highly recommend that you start to find ways to automate as much money as possible. But if you want some help, really setting up a system that saves you time and energy and money for the rest of your life. I have helped over 300 people all around the world set up their waterfall money system. We have seen people who have never been able to accumulate savings in their entire lives save their first $10,000 in just a few months using this system.
I paid $20,000 in child support, and I've managed to save another about 50 grand in my business account and have the taxes for that and everything squared away. That is my account right now. And that's where we're at.
That's where we're at. Holy
Yeah,
shit.
fucking right, bro.
The management of the flow of money, meaning we can save more because we're not thinking about it, because it's automated and it's out of our eyeballs every day. We've been able to save over $10,000 in just a couple of months just by not having to look at it. And I like that. There's a lot of automation going on, which saves me a lot of time. So I can spend more time with my clients. I can spend more time with my family, and I'm not stressing over money anymore.
In just a few months, after the course, I was already seeing 10, 15, it got up to 20,000 in my account. And not only that, but the multiple accounts that now I have a tax savings. I've got an emergency savings, a travel savings, setting up for retirement. I also opened a new business right at the beginning of this course. And the fact that I've been able to invest into that while continuing to see my savings grow is just something that absolutely never would have happened without this course.
Better systems to support you with saving, investing, taxes, and long-term goals solves the tangible what to do with my money problem. But it doesn't address the big pink elephant in the room that your CPA or financial advisor is definitely not helping you with, and that is your mental, emotional, and spiritual relationship with money. Let's pretend for a second that you hate cooking, or that you believe that you're just bad at cooking. You're probably not going to have much success in the kitchen, are you? Now, replace the word cooking with money. It's hard to be good with money when your perspective is that you hate it or you're just resigned to being bad at it. Instead of learning to be better at cooking, you might just order takeout, which is avoiding the root of your problem and is a pretty expensive solution. How have you been avoiding dealing with your relationship with money? And what expensive solutions are you using to solve your money problems that are keeping you stuck? Is your solution simply to avoid the big conversations and focus on how to survive until the end of the month every month? That is an expensive solution in the long run. It's probably costing you tens of thousands of dollars every year, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars over the course of your life. Now, what if instead of avoiding the root of your problems with money, you were excited to look at your bank accounts and you felt confident in taking action to gain control of your finances instead of procrastinating? What if money was a fun game that you looked forward to playing every day? How would that change your life? The reality is that you're going to deal with money in some way, shape, or form every day for the rest of your life. And the way you think and feel about money plays a major role in how successful you are with money. So, having a healthy relationship and mindset around money is incredibly important to your overall health and well being. And it's something that we focus a lot on here at the Artful Dollar.
It was really potent and powerful. One of the courses, he asked me, how do I approach a big tattoo? And I said, I try to be professional and daring. And I do with every tattoo. I want my client to have a really nice experience. I want to be a pro with every step of the way. And I want to take chances with the tattoo. I want to do something experimental. I want to do something I haven't done before, that I haven't seen done before. He asked me, how have you thought about money up until now? And I responded with something like, I was kind of being childish and immature. And then he asked me, what if you took that approach to money? You know, he kind of warned me earlier that there was going to be some breakthrough in this lesson. And there definitely was. So it definitely helped me, reshape the way I think about it. That was one of the biggest mindset shifts for me. What would it look like if I was daring with my money and professional with my money?
Ever since, I just been kind of like, man, guided meditations, huh? Like I said, I just kind of went with it because that's what we were doing. And it was the most powerful moment in my career so far, because it finally gave me this clarity of like, I don't have to be this drifting tattooer who just kind of like, whatever, pay me whatever, I don't care. I saw myself as who I wanted to be, and I felt the confidence that I didn't have, you know what I mean? So it was like whole shift. It just changed my whole shit. Like, and it had nothing to do with my fucking taxes. It was nuts. It was awesome. It was the best experience I've had that I can remember.
At first, I thought it was complete bullshit to talk about mindset around finances and money. It isn't. It is not bullshit at all. After learning the mindset part of it, it's not cringy at all. And I'm not blocking the flow of my money anymore. I'm just a conduit. I let it flow through me. It takes effort, but the effort's worth it.
Something that really helped me be better with money that you can do right now is to start to think about your money and your life in terms of years and decades instead of weeks and months. So right now, I want you to think about the next 10 years of your life. What are your goals around your business? Do you want to buy a house or some land? Do you want to travel and see the world? If you have kids, how do you want to set them up financially? Do you want to get on track for retirement? If you are serious about these goals, would you keep doing what you're doing around money? And if not, what would you need to do differently, or what is missing? Ask yourself, if you were to continue to have the relationship with money that you have right now for the next 10 years, what would that look like?
God, it's like I don't even want to think about it. I hate to think about if in 10 years from now, so 41, I still hadn't addressed any of this stuff. I would feel pretty depressed, honestly, especially if I was maybe raising a family at that point, or like really in a good relationship and wanting more for myself and feeling inspired to grow, but having no kind of way to get there.
I would probably die of a heart attack. I'm totally serious. I would get gray in the fucking 6 months from now, and I would be just a ball of stress, angry, pissed, not knowing what's happening, running myself to the ground 6 days a week or 7 days a week. That's what would happen.
Tell you what, man, if I had to do this on my own, the amount of mistakes that I would have made, I wouldn't be saving $4,000 a month. I wouldn't have the excitement for the future. It would be way more of that stress feeling about the future. You're just gonna be stuck. You'd be stuck looking. You don't even know the right words to like type in to freaking get the information. You know what I mean? I didn't, dude. I'd be fucked without this course. Like my future, I feel, would be like so stagnant.
I wanted this episode to not only talk about the amazing work that we do at the Artful Dollar, but to have you, the listener, start to shift your perspective on money right now. And whether or not we ever end up working together, there are 2 lessons that I want you to take away from this episode. The first is that building systems that support you and help you automate and clarify where your money is going is 100% essential to being able to manage and save money, not just for weeks or months, but for decades. This goes for anybody, but it's especially important if you are self-employed or you own your own business and your income is inconsistent. And the second is that your perspective and mindset around money is honestly one of the most important areas of your life that you should continue to grow and develop. You honestly cannot afford to not improve your relationship with money. Being curious and aware of your thoughts and feelings around money and starting to shift those perspectives to new ones that leave you freer and lighter around money is something that I have been practicing for over a decade. And it's helped me increase my income and my savings and grow my businesses, invest in real estate, and allowed me to take dream vacations all around the world, and all without sacrificing my long-term goals like retirement. Your mindset is everything. Now, if you happen to be thinking about working with us, I say go for it, because I know without a doubt in my mind that the work we are doing is truly life-changing. But here is some advice from people who, like you, probably felt a bit skeptical and unsure, but they signed up anyway, and they completed the Artful Dollar course, and this is what they have to say.
Honestly, I think it's worth it to make the jump. If it feels kind of stressful to spend that amount of money, just kind of think about it in the long term. You spend the amount of money for the course now, you're set up for the rest of your career. I think it's a really, really good investment to make that'll end up paying off substantially in the future.
The monetary advantages are clear. Everyone in the course has seen their money grow, their accounts grow to a degree that compensates the price of the course immediately, and the benefits far exceed that. The benefits are so numerous that I promise it'll be more than you're expecting, and at the very least you'll get your money's worth in a way you can't even imagine. I've already made back the money that I invested in the course a month after, and to imagine where I'll be 1 to 5 years from here, all thanks to the tools that I got from this course, it's hard to imagine. It's beyond worth it.
I don't want to push somebody to do something that's not right for them. They really have to decide for themselves if being on the fence is, the way to go, or if fucking that fence and pushing it over and just move forward. I think because of the internet and the way that marketing and everyone's shoving something down your throat and wanting to sell you something, that there is a bit of defensiveness where you're like, are people just trying to extract me for money, especially if you're in a scarcity place? But what I found was, this is definitely one of those situations where you're working with real people with real ethics and morals, and who actually are trying to help you. And we're going through a lot together. And so we need people who care, I feel like you and your staff and everybody, you guys really care. And I'm thankful.
At this point, you might have more questions about our courses, what's involved, the time, prices, payment options, or other details. And we've found that it really works best to first see what it is that you need help with, and can we actually help you accomplish your goals. So to do that, if you're interested, the next step is to complete this form by hitting the link in the show notes or scanning this QR code. And based on your answers, the form will immediately guide you towards the best possible solutions for you. I hope that this episode has sparked you to start to think about your whole relationship with money, the practical, emotional, and spiritual, because I believe that this is the first step toward building financial peace and well-being. If you found this episode to be helpful, please like and subscribe and share it with someone who you think would benefit from listening to it. Regardless of whether or not we ever end up working together, I want to thank you for listening to the Artful Dollar podcast. May you and all beings be free from suffering, especially around money. Take care and have a wonderful day.